Yo, what's up, everybody? Y'all are tuned in to another episode of the Juicebox Heroes podcast. I think we got a really good episode for you guys. Just coming off of this series loss to Mariners, so we're going to touch a lot about that. But as always, we have the Dubon Fan Club president, Mr. Chris Moreno, and Sweet B Bones, Mr. Bryles. Fellas, how are we doing this Thursday evening?
Well, I mean, I think everybody knows how everybody's doing after the debacle that was last night. Outside of that, the League City Marlins are continuing to roll. We have now won 5 in a row, so we are starting to get hot at the right time. Outside of that, I'm saving all my stuff for when we get into yesterday's game. So, Browse, how have you been since the last time we all hung out?
Good, man. League City Little League Marlins. Yeah, you put one win together, you get another win. What do they call that? That's a winning streak.
It's a winning streak. It has happened before.
It has happened before, and so they're the boys are rolling. We're excited for that. But more importantly, on Astros baseball, yeah, we're we got a lot of stuff to unpack in this episode. That's for sure. So before we even get into that, PK, I know you were on the road, man. Did you have a good road trip? And are you ready and refreshed and ready to go for tonight?
Yeah, no, we were in Dallas for my daughter's 12U volleyball tournament. They went, what'd they go? 3-4, 3 games on Saturday and got, I don't want to say, pretty much got destroyed Saturday. Sunday, they came back and they redeemed themselves. They went 3-0 after going 0-3 on Saturday. So, and then Monday, it was one game bracket play. And, let's just say they spent the night for one game on Sunday night. So, but yeah, all in all, it's good, man. Glad to be back. Y'all had a great episode on Sunday. So thanks for covering down. Listen to it on the way home. But yeah, let's dive right into this thing, man. So, we finished up this Seattle series, losing the series, and going into the 8th inning last night, I was like, sweet, I'm going to hit my prediction of 2-1, right? Or we are. Most of us, I think, chose that, right?
All three of us, I think.
And it was good to see the bats. When we score 5 runs, I shouldn't feel like the bats came alive because our offense is better than 5 runs, and then thinking like, hey, our bats have finally woken up. But we also know that when we play Seattle, that we're going to get a lot of 1-run games. That's just kind of how low scoring 1-run games, it's kind of how we play up there. So, Logan Gilbert on Monday, I think we all chose that to be an L. That was the case. I mean, that dude's just filthy, right? I mean, we couldn't do anything with him. Who pitched on Monday? Hayden pitched on Monday, I believe, right?
Yeah, he pitched the series opener, and then Fromber pitched the game 2. And
I think Hayden did pretty good. I think Hayden did. He pitched pretty good.
He didn't look bad.
But Logan Gilbert's just a whole other animal. It's just so tough up there. But we lose that game. Fromber goes 6 on Tuesday. We go, I think, 12 innings on Tuesday, to get the win. I'll be honest, I fell asleep. So I found the score Wednesday morning. But Fromber, another 6-inning outing for him. So that was good to see. I don't know if you guys want to touch on that game. I mean, it really wasn't much. I mean, it was a 2-1. Was it 2-1 contest? I believe it was 2-1.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, was that the game you're talking about? The only thing I have to say about these first 2 games is, golly, this offense is terrible. I mean, again, game 1 was another 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position. I mean, and then you had to beat them in extra innings 2-1. I think is what the score was, 2-1. Yeah, I mean.
Well, the other thing too is that you burn through your bullpen. You burn through your bullpen on Tuesday. And so you go into Wednesday and you need Hunter Brown to go out there and get you some innings, right? Like you needed him to go and do at least 6 innings, save the bullpen, hopefully get up on, Luis F. Castillo, right? And kind of save that bullpen. And we started doing that. we started putting some hits together. Cam Smith had a 2-hit game. We were tacking on some runs, and it's 5-0 going into the 8th. Hunter Brown looks like a freaking beast on the mound. Like he didn't have a lot of strikeouts. There was one stat when I was watching the game that, let's see, he finished 6 innings. So I think like in the 6th inning when he was pitching, Blummer had said something that he had only had 13 whiffs for the day, but he had like 31 foul balls. So which was increasing his pitch count, right? But that means he was attacking the zone, the whole game. But you still got 6 innings out of him. You still got a quality start out of Hunter Brown. That's the type of outing we expect to see from him. And when you toss it over to the pen, you're expecting them to hold it down. I mean, it was 5-0 going into the 8th. And Roz, I'll let you get in on this. So, Hunter Brown comes out of the game. It's a 5-0 lead. We're like, all right, sweet, we got this. But who did we see in the bullpen? Who did we see warming up? First man out of the box.
Luis Contreras. And, I sent you guys a screenshot from the recording that I had, where it was top of the 8th, 1 out, 2 on, and we were up 5-0. And I'm like, all right, we got this in the bag, right? Not so much. Bullpen definitely let us down. So it was like an unfolding lawn chair from the bullpen coming out. And, I haven't seen a whole lot to give me confidence in the bullpen overall. I know Chris has done some already some stats here on Luis Contreras, so I'm going to let him take that one.
All right. So my thing is just like, you were kind of waiting for this to happen. It's like you get up 5-0, and for us, 5 runs, that's the most runs we've scored in a game. So it's like, okay, the offense finally got you something. Starting pitching finally got you something. When is the bullpen going to let you down? And that was yesterday. And it freaking blows my mind, because it's like the 3 guys we saw out there, before I get into Contreras and before I get into what Espada said, you had an arm available. You just called up Logan Van Wy. Why didn't he pitch these last 2 games? Why? Like, it blows my mind. I have no idea. What was the point of calling him up? It's the same shit they did last year. Hey, let's call this guy up, and then he sits for 3 damn games. What's the point? You bring Contreras out there. Let me get into what Espada said, because this pisses me off too. These guys are going to get big outs for us, and they have been doing that. Really, Joe? Let's go take a look at the stats, okay? Really? Because I'm pretty sure Contreras is your boy. His last 4 outings, right? His last 4 outings, he's given up at least, with the exception of 1. So his last is going back to the 31st of March. With the exception of his April 2 outing, which he went 1 inning, he has given up 2 runs or more in 3 of his last 4 outings. So he hasn't gotten you any of these damn outs that you're talking about. And again, it's like, you look at this guy's ERA. I mean, like, you set him down, and he gets another lifeline because Arrighetti, and we haven't even touched on that. Apparently, I don't know why these guys are out there playing catch off of BP.
Started on that.
And it's just like, we have him. So we call up this kid Logan Van Wy, and we're not going to use him. So but I'm glad that that Espada thinks that Contreras gets him outs, because I haven't seen him 2 out of the 5 outings he's gotten outs. Outside of that, he's gotten donkey stomped. I mean, so this man should not be. And I'm not a big fan of saying somebody doesn't deserve to be on a major league roster, but this man does not deserve to be on a major league roster. I mean, he should be down in AAA. Like I said, it just blows my mind that you call up Logan Van Wy and you don't use him. Why? Was he not there? Were they waiting for, like, did they call him up and then he wasn't going to report until they came back to Houston? What was the deal with that? I mean, so that's what I don't understand. I mean, I knew they were going to be down a guy, but I mean, so I mean, you can't fly somebody out from Sugar Land to Seattle. I mean, so that's kind of my thing, is I'm trying to figure out why you call up Logan Van Wy, you don't use him, You throw Contreras out there, who you're looking at what he did his 5 starts of this season, gives me zero faith in him to get anybody out. And you trot him out there for 2 innings, not 1
Yeah.
inning, 2 innings. That's what blows my mind. And I know, Barles, you wanted to get in. So what you got, man?
Yeah, no, that was my main thing. It's like I believe that right now Espada is very much mismanaging a lot of this bullpen in how he's going through all these from the starter to the bullpen, the transition, and how he's going from the 6th, 7th, 8th into the 9th inning. Now we all know that Hader's going to be in the 9th inning. All right, so that's a given. But anything between inning 5 and inning 8, I think he looks clueless, to be completely honest with you. And I know that I've already said, like, hey, look, he's a sophomore manager, right? He's going to make mistakes. Trust me, I understand that. But at the same time, I mean, he's got to have the pitching coach over there tapping him on the shoulder, being like, hey, buddy, by the way, you might want to go get him out of there. Or, hey, that might not be the person to put in right now. So whatever, he doesn't need to be on the bullpen phone anymore, is where I'm going with that. Leave that to the pitching coach. Espada, go ahead, handle everything else, and then just go from there. And that's I am so frustrated with that right now. I don't even know if I can blame it on Contreras, because the guy was told to go out there and throw. Maybe he wasn't ready. I have no idea. Maybe, like you said, he is not a professional baseball player at a major league level right now. Maybe he needs to go back to AAA. I don't know what the case is, but the one thing I do know is that what I've seen so far for this season is that we have not had a consistent bullpen, and it hasn't been managed very well. And if it's not being managed well, I've only got one person to blame at this given moment.
Yeah, no, I know seeing Contreras warm up, it was instant, kind of like, oh shit, what are we going to get from this guy? Even Chris, you laid it out pretty good. His last 5 outings. There's nothing that I see when he comes out of the pen that says, all right, we're going to shut this inning down. Now, to his credit, when he came in his first inning, he did shut him down. However, he should have been taken out after that inning. Sending him back out for a second inning, that was the mistake, right? He came in and he did his job. He shut that inning down, and that should have been, you should have gone to Oker or whoever, right? And instead of waiting until you put Oker in a bad spot to where he's in a high leverage situation and you give up the slam. Even when they gave up the slam to Arozarena, there was still a level of I'm still not comfortable in the fact that we only have a one run lead. It was like it sucked to feel that way. And then we have the Brian Abreu. Well, then we have Brian Abreu. We get the insurance run with Pena, who, still second. Did he still second? No, he got a double. I think he got a double. Then he stole third. Actually, he was picked off, but made it into third. Then he scores on the pass ball, right? And I'm like, sweet, we get the insurance run. Like that makes me feel better. We got Abreu. Abreu's probably the only one available based on how it went on Tuesday night. Single, double, walk. I mean, and it was 0-2. It was an 0-2 to Julio. It was a 1-2 count. He was down. He got him 0-2, and then threw him the outside slider. That look, he made a good swing, good contact. I mean, he just threw it out there. But going back with Brian Abreu, going back to last season, and we briefly talked about this right before we came on. For me personally, I don't have the warm and fuzzy nails feeling that I had with Brian Abreu, say, back in 22, right? Where we knew this guy, he comes in the 7th, it's a wrap. I think it's a wrap. It's going straight to, our 8th inning guy. Presley's coming in at 9. It's over. And you can go back to last season. And kind of see the inconsistencies that we had with Brian Abreu even last season. And so in this season, it's starting to kind of remind me of 21, where he had a negative 0.9 WAR, 5.75 ERA. Now, again, it's very early. And I'm really, really honestly, this season, I'm really trying not to be freak out guy so early. But given how our offense has been so stagnant so far, and we had, this 5-run lead, We gave it up. Now we need to hold it. We got 2-run lead in the 9th, and you walk it off with a walk. Brian Abreu doesn't give me I don't have the confidence in him that he's going to come in and shut it down in the 8th inning like he's supposed to. Right. So it's, and Bryles, going back to what you talked about, that bridge relief pitcher from our starter to our 8th inning, we don't have a true. We got 4 freaking lefties in there in the bullpen, 3 or 4, right? So there's not one guy that has separated himself in that bullpen to say, okay, I'm going to be the bridge guy to get us to the 8th inning. And Espada's having to mix and match and play and like, oh, we need to bring this guy in, whatever. So we need one of those guys, one of those younger guys, to step up and be, hey, I'm going to be the bridge guy. I mean, Taylor Scott last year was that bridge guy early on in the season. He kind of came out of nowhere, right? And for the longest time, I mean, he was that bridge guy. You know, I don't have any kind of confidence in our bullpen. I mean, Hader's had, to me, so far bounce back season compared to how much traffic he was getting last season, you know. But you look at, you know, the rest of our pen, Abreu, Luis Contreras needs to stay in AAA. You know, like, it sucks to suck. I'm sorry to say, but like, that's just kind of is what it is. I don't. And again, Chris, you talked about it with Arrighetti getting hit with the line drive. We'll talk about it here in a minute. You know, that was what got him back into the Seattle. It's kind of hard for me to believe that there's no other option down in AAA that we could have brought up. That's kind of where I'm at with that. Like, that's your option.
Yeah, I mean, there's a handful of options right now. I mean, there's only one guy, maybe 2 so far in this bullpen that is like kind of either A, impressed me, or B, I'm okay with. You know, the blood pressure is not going to be, you know, skyrocketing. One of them is Ryan Gusto. He's looked really good so far this season. And like I said, you said Hader kind of has a bounce back. Taylor Scott is getting lit up. And the thing is, like, if you look at the stats on Abreu, I think his ERA is 3.10. So yesterday was the first game this season he's given up runs. But if you look at his walk versus strikeout split, it's 6 walks to 7 strikeouts. So it's like every time that he goes out there, yeah, he may get out of it, but it's consistently high leverage situations because he puts men on base all the time. And I don't know what has happened from 2022 where he comes in, you might as well just, you know,
it's over.
Hang it up because the game, you know, that inning's over, to, you know, like, where you're going to come up here and if he only allows 2 men on base, then you take that as a win. But yeah, I mean, there's a handful of guys down. Yeah, I mean, there's a handful of guys down there.
506. 506 is his ERA, sir.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, I mean, like, there's a handful of guys you can use. I get it. You know, you go with the guy who has MLB experience, I guess, with Contreras, and he's already probably pretty close to the team. So, yeah, I mean, this bullpen has not looked good this season. Like, I would say right now, the only portion of this team that's looked good has been the starting pitching, and that's like 3 of the 5 look good. Blanco needs to get his shit together.
Well, he's pitching tomorrow, so
yeah. And I know we're going to be talking about this Angel series coming up. I was looking at the starting pitching coming up over the next 3 days. And speaking of warm and fuzzies, I don't have a whole lot of that right now. I know we're going to talk about what our predictions are here shortly. But, you know, I'm kind of surprised that Dana Brown hasn't stepped in and picked somebody up like a Hector Neris that we're very familiar with, obviously, that's now officially available, or anybody else, you know, that could be maybe something of an improvement compared to what we have right now. The only other thing that I don't know of is obviously the 10-year promise of Forrest Whitley. Chris, what do you know about Forrest Whitley? Do you have any idea if he's going to be coming up anytime soon from his IL stint, or do you know anything?
What is he hurt with again? What's he hurt with this time?
I think he got hurt his running on flat ground.
He hurt his knee. So at least it has nothing to do with his elbow. His because last year the big one was he had a blister on his finger or something.
Yes, he had
his was like
blister.
I think it's a sprained knee or something like that. I think it's a sprained knee. and I think that he's supposed to come back mid-April. So hopefully here in the next week, you got Forrest Whitley coming.
Literally the last injury update I saw on him was that he had a IL setback while running on flat ground, which you tell me how that happens. I don't know. But anyway, long story short, I do think that we have some improvements that we could easily make in the bullpen. It just is going to take some moves, and I know I already really harped on it, but I think his spot has got to be a little bit smarter with this. And you said it earlier, Chris. You don't bring up Van Wy and put him on the bench. I mean, get the kid in there. We've got to do that. And then, while we've already talked about it, I guess, so Arrighetti broke his thumb playing catch somehow while he was in Seattle, which that was one of my breakout guys of the entire year. So, PK, you want to elaborate on that a little bit for us?
Break is right.
Well, yeah. So the good news is that he won't.
I didn't mean that.
Good news is that he will not need surgery. He'll be in a cast for like 2 to 2.5 weeks. So that is the good news. But yeah, he is playing catch in the outfield. Seattle's doing BP. He gets hit with the line drive, broken thumb. Therefore, you see Luis Contreras up. Ryan Gusto's going to fill his spot. Gusto's going to pitch Saturday, I believe. Yeah, man. I mean, it's just why are starting pitchers in the outfield during batting practice, not only for their team or another team? I mean, there's got to be another time, and maybe this happens all the time. I'm sure it does. I'm sure that these guys are out there playing catch or, just, working out the soreness or whatever all the time. But, when you hear something like this, it's kind of like, why are you out there while other guys are hitting BBs off of, cork bats for batting practice or whatever they're doing? You know what I mean? So, like I said, the good news is that he won't need surgery. He's going to wear a cast for a couple weeks, and then they'll kind of reevaluate him. But yeah, just an unfortunate incident that happened. And it's kind of, there's this why can't we have the offense and the pitching staff be on the same level at the same time? That's what, I guess partly because we were used to it, but it's incredibly shocking that we go back to this offense and what we're not doing, right? You look at this lineup on paper and they should be mashing, and again, I know it's, how many games in are we? Like 12 games or something like that? 12 games, somewhere in there. It's very early. We're still, 2.5 weeks into the season. These guys are going to come around, but it's painful to watch. It's painful to watch this offense just not hit, to leave runners on base. The defense looked really good on yesterday afternoon. I mean, they were swallowing up a bunch of hit balls, a bunch of good plays. Pena had a not pretty sweet barehand play. Rogers had a couple plays up the middle that you don't want to dog on Altuve, but you kind of think okay, if Altuve was playing there, I don't think he gets those, right? And Christian Walker, I mean, the dude is a vacuum down at first base. So it's really sweet to see that our first base, be defensive minded. At the moment, it's all defensive minded because he's not hitting up there. He looks kind of lost, but now you have to give him a little bit of credit because he did miss some spring because of the strained oblique that we were all worried about, with his past history. So he's kind of getting his timing back. But the thing that sucks is that when we score 5 runs, we're kind of, at least I am like, oh shit, we scored 5 runs. Here come the bats. But then the bullpen lets you down. And it goes back to the same thing. We always talk about it, where the offense doesn't do anything. The pitchers have to be on such high pressure moments all the time. They have to be perfect. And that's just your starting guys. And then you have this bullpen that's kind of letting you down. And, we're about to get into the Angel series. So let's kind of just go into that. These guys they beat the brakes off the Rays today. I mean, beat the brakes. I want to say they're 9-3, I think. 9-3, 9-4, somewhere.
I think they're 8-3.
And there was a comment, and I know it's still early, so I think last season they kind of went out to a little hot start last season also at the beginning, very early, out of the door. But they've got some ball players, man. Mike Trout's on a comeback tour.
They were 8-4.
Okay. But still, I think, look, man, I mean, their bats, they put up like at least 11 runs today, I think. At least 11 today. I kind of caught some of the highlights in between watching the Masters. But they put up some runs today. So that's a pretty, hot team coming in. I'm curious to see what y'all thoughts are this weekend. Ronel, Blanco on Friday, Gusto, I think, Saturday, and
Wisniewski
on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's a City Connect weekend. Getting sweet chains tomorrow.
It
apparently.
is. Yeah, we're gonna get our chains, so that'll be cool. I don't know, man. Like, I'm starting to lose faith in Ronel Blanco.
He needs to have a bounce back outing tomorrow for sure. He's got to.
Yeah, I mean, Wisniewski looked good his last start. I mean, and I'm excited to see what we got in Gusto. Gusto's look good coming out of the pen, but I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like we're right in that crud that we were in last season, where it was consistently inconsistent. I feel like that's kind of where this team is at so far. I mean, I would love nothing more than a breakout series. The bats come awake, we average 5 to 6 runs a game. I mean, I don't know what it is. Like, I really don't. I mean, like, with this lineup, I mean, you look at the lineup, and granted, yeah, it's not the lineup of 2019 Astros, but it's not a rebuild, for 2037, lineup either. You know what? I'm gonna 2-1 Astros. That's what I got.
Okay. I'm thinking of this more of with my gambling hat on. So we've got Blanco, who's got a 9+ ERA, coming in on Friday.
Take the over.
Take the over. Which, by the way, if you took the unders in the Seattle series, you hit 2 of 3.
That's true.
I was not expecting for the over to hit on the last game, but
the day game.
We already talked about it. Yeah, I know. Don't bet on bacon, and I'll bet on day games anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you got Blanco with a 9+ ERA on Friday. We've got Gusto, who we've been showcasing out of the bullpen until Saturday. And then now we've got Wisniewski on Sunday. I've got confidence in one of those pitchers as a starter right now. I hate to say it, guys. I'm going 1-2. So I think that we're going to win one of these games. I would like to go into it on Sunday with at least a rubber match and say that Chris is right and we go 2-1. But I think we're going to win one out of these two, mainly because, PK, you touched on this. Those Angels bats are hot. We're coming off some kind of disappointments. Hopefully we got some home cooking that's going to help out, but I don't have the utmost confidence as of this very moment.
Yeah. Torpedo bats come in tomorrow. So there's that.
Oh, I did not know that.
I'm still going 1-2 though. I'm still going 1-2.
So it's too bad that Contreras can't pitch with a torpedo bat. So I mean, that might be great for the offense, but it doesn't help out the bullpen at all.
Yeah, I think Rozzy touched on it. Blanco's got the high ERA. He's been less than so far this year, right? Or in his first few outings. So not a lot of faith in Ronel. I would love for him to have a bounce back appearance tomorrow night, especially since I'm going to be there. I'd like to see a win. But until he shows it, you have to go off of what he's shown so far. So,
well, PK, what happened last time you went to go see Blanco pitch?
Well, I went the day after. No, that was Andrew.
Oh, Andrew, that was Andrew. Never mind. Well, that segue screwed. Never mind. Carry on.
Yeah, I was there the next night when Javier threw a 1-hit shutout, so I missed it by a hit. But unfortunately, guys, Javier's not pitching tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I'll go 1-2. I think that we'll probably lose tomorrow. I'll take the win on Sunday with Hayden. I think Gusto's probably going to do his thing on Saturday. I just feel like he won't get a decision. That's kind of how I'm going to look at it. But But yeah, the Angels are playing really good right now. Kyron, whatever his last name is for the Angels, young kid.
Paris, Kyron Paris.
Yeah, is mashing right now. I mean, mashing.
And if you're not picking it, and if you're big into fantasy baseball, if you haven't picked him up, then you're screwing up at a high rate of speed.
Well,
I just picked him up earlier.
Yeah, yesterday. I was about to say, yeah, I'm
I'm
playing you this
week.
In front of me. Well, I'm playing Chris this week, and he picked up everybody that I wanted to pick up. So
you got to be quick,
losing.
man. You got to be quick.
Well, I forget about it. It's just, every freaking day I got to look at that thing. But anyways, 1 and 2 win on Sunday, dropped the first 2. So, until this bullpen can show me something, I mean, I just don't have faith in it. This is kind of what it boils down to. Till the offense can, back a game up after putting some hits together. I mean, Jordan was hitting the ball pretty well yesterday, but it was deep. They were deep fly balls, but he was definitely putting the bat on balls. Cam Smith, I mean, that dude has such a pretty swing. He is like the oppo. He just wants to go oppo. I mean, that's not a bad thing. I'm just saying that he lets the ball travel so deep, so he can pick it up, the spin on it, and he can go right field. So I'm hoping that Cam Smith can start to put something together, because every at bat, we all know from watching, because we don't play baseball, but every at bat that this guy is going to get, whether he succeeds or fails, is just more data for him to take in. More pitches that he's going to be seeing, and I really think he's going to start putting this thing together where he's going to be a little bit more consistent. So, yeah, 1 and 2 up for over the weekend, and I mean, yeah, that's kind of where I see with this. I mean, I don't want to go 1 and 2, but I think until they show us something, I think you have to kind of take what they're going to give us, and we'll see what those torpedo bats do. It'd be fun. Maybe some bombs will go out tomorrow night. Be cool.
Maybe we'll see Cam Smith's first home run.
That would be badass. I saw Jordan's first home run years ago at the old Minute Maid, so hopefully we see Cam Smith's first one. Be a lot cooler if we did.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's about to take it up. Unless you guys have anything else.
No, I'm not really.
Heroes, Chris is talking. I can't hear him. There we go.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. I mean, we'll be at the game tomorrow night, man. Hopefully they turn it around.
Yeah, we'll be there. We'll be there. So if you see us and recognize us, come say what's up. We'll be around. But thank y'all for tuning in for the Juice Box Heroes. I'm one of your hosts, PK, and that's Chris, and that's Bryles. And we'll catch up with y'all on Sunday evening.
Go, Scotty Scheffler.
Go, Scotty freaking Scheffler. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't even know who that is.